Okay, so I'm back. I said 2-3 minutes, and then you're supposed to pour it into another container. So I have the same 2 large containers here. So I have 1 small one and 2 larger size containers here. And so I stirred it for a couple minutes, and then after a couple minutes, you're supposed to pour it into another pour it and stir it again for some time. I think it's like 3 minutes, but don't over stir. It tells you not to over stir. The second time I did this, or the first time I did this, I think I definitely over stirred because it never got clear. It was foggy the whole time, and I stirred and I stirred and I stirred fast. I don't think it was the matter that I stirred maybe too long, but too fast. I mean, I was like, versus now I'm just doing it more gently and delicately. So for me personally, this being my 3rd time doing this, which makes me a pro, yeah, I'm a dork. I decided that once I started seeing the air bubbles form, and actually one flew out from the cup, a little tiny bubble came up, probably from the gases of it mixing. So I already stirred it once. I poured it, and this is the 2nd stir. And we're not supposed to worry about these bubbles in here, and I don't. And mine it's hard to see in the video, but it's pretty clear. Not perfectly clear, but I notice when it dries, it's perfectly clear. So I don't know if you've watched any of my other videos, but I do have a hard time with patience, especially when I'm doing a video, because I know people aren't going to want to watch this forever, and I haven't learned a good program for editing that I feel like spending money on at this time. So, but if you guys have any suggestions on video editing things, please let me know. And I'm not using GoPro because I actually found that to be more difficult. The one that I had, my friend lent me a GoPro, and I tried it a few times, and it doesn't zoom. It doesn't zoom in. At least the one that she gave me didn't zoom in. So it was like you got a shot of the entire room, but you don't. And then my space was so small on the camera. I guess you got to go into the editing of that to make that work. Okay, so I made these boards. They're boards with nails, well, actually screws, because I didn't have any nails through them. So, and here's another one. Before I began, I laid out the rocks that I wanted to, well, I want to glaze a ton of them. I'm going to call it glaze. Epoxy a ton of them, but I didn't have a ton of space here, so I laid out already the ones that'll work and fit on this. So, okay, I'm going to tell you, I was going to say what size those cups were for you, but I don't. I'm reaching over for the straw that I just got epoxy on, and now I'm going to use it, and this stuff is on my hands. Maybe, see, this is a mess for me all the time. I grabbed the straw at the wrong end. It's the same straw that I used last time, but I remember that I was blowing through this end. And what you do with blowing is when you put this on, the bubbles form, and you're supposed to blow through the straw. I got this tip from another video. Blow through the straw in the heat, and it pops all those bubbles. Well, I also know that when you're blowing through the straw, condensation and spit builds up, even when you try not to, and then all of a sudden you see spit spray through the paintbrush. And you put it down, you pick it up, and it's like, oh, which I don't know what to tell you. This is a mess for me, but it is still kind of fun. And the result is gorgeous. A lot of you guys have seen the results. Otherwise, I don't think you would be looking for these videos. Oh, I wanted to grab a paintbrush. Where are my paintbrushes? Okay. Here's my paintbrush. My cheap one. So I suppose maybe I mix it up since I let it go. I don't know. What am I supposed to do next? The website says pour it in zigzags, but that was way too thick. So I'm going to start with the back. Oops, excuse me. And, geez, that was a lot. I'm going to rub it on this time and see how that works. Because last time it also, I poured it too thick, and so a lot was dripping over the sides. I'm just going to use my finger. So a lot was dripping over the sides, and then on the round rock, it was like all this drip marks. And I'd go under and I'd try and, smooth them out, but it was just too thick. It's too thick. So I'll try it this way. And hopefully it'll even out. We'll take a look at it. So there's one. Oh, this is a lot quicker. Oh, let me tell you, get the gloves. This is so much better. And look at this. I'm getting it all over my table. Oh, you can't see in the video. And I'm not about to touch that video camera either. Or that's my tablet I'm recording on. I'm not about to touch that with my hand, with this, because this stuff gets everywhere. I was going to move it so that you could see what I did and how I spilt it on this table. I should have some paper towels or something to just use to wipe up stuff. But I hate using I hate just throwing all that garbage away. So, I don't know. Oh, this one has a price tag on it from a booth that I had. You know what? There's so much on my hands right now that I'm just putting it over, and it's almost like it's enough. The white ones, at least, the white Santoria rocks, with those, I mean, it's really hard to see any areas that are too bulky. But on these rocks, you can kind of see where it gets kind of bulky on it. And it's easier to even out and even see spaces that I missed. That one I had already gloss sprayed. But I like this epoxy look so much better that I wanted to I don't know, am I putting too much on there? I feel like I'm dipping my finger in there and that's enough. Gosh, this is going by so much faster when I have these gloves and just rubbing it on. Before I was paintbrush and trying to be all detailed about it, and it got on too thick and it was getting all over. It's still getting all over. It's still a mess. But man, hopefully this works. oh, there's a price tag on this one too. I sell these at art and crafts fairs. Not all of them. A lot of them I do just give away, or I hide. Not give away, like, specifically to people, but I hide and out in public for that kindness rock concept. That's where I began, and I'm guessing that that's how a lot of people began. But in the meantime, while I was doing that, people are like, oh, that's awesome, that's awesome, you should sell those, you should sell those. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, this one's for sale, and the next thing I know it, people are buying them. And next thing I know it, I have craft fairs and art fairs that I'm doing. Next thing I know it, I'm doing these YouTube videos, and I'm actually selling the Santorini rocks as well now. I got a big shipment in, a pallet of them, a huge pallet of them, from Greece. And since they're from Greece directly, I got them at a really good price so that I can sell them to you guys. I do have a business. Yeah, I had to set up all sorts of stuff to get them over to me, and the shipping was extravagant. And you had to buy a ton, but I figured I would invest in it, and I've been selling those too. So if you want to buy any of these Santorini rocks, my prices are really competitive. I don't know if you can find anything cheaper than mine. I've done my research. I don't think you can. So if you want to order some, send me over, make a comment, say you're interested in them on the video, or send me an email at rockadventuring@gmail.com, and I'll send you over the pricing and how it's done. So, oh, and here's my last one that I did. So the last one I'm going to try and do on this video. Okay, now this one I've never done. I put rocks and I cemented them with cement glue onto this slate. So I had these little tiny pebbles, and I just thought the idea was so cute that I had to try it. So I got this piece of slate rock, which is nice and thin, so that when you put it on, it's not too bulky. And actually, I started painting on slate a little bit too. That is an idea. I'm going to give rights to Rachel. Rachel, a lot of you guys might know her too. Rachel's phenomenal. She's a great designer and great artist. She had a tutorial on this one. So thank you, Rachel. And this one was inspired by Rachel as well. The butterfly ones and this one, all the Santorini rocks were my own designs that I came up with, which are, as all of you guys probably know, sometimes they're a hit, sometimes they're a miss, and sometimes you just have the energy for creating and the patience, and sometimes you just don't. Okay, so I just put this all in there. So I used cement glue. The kind that I use for these, and so far it's been holding up pretty darn good, is multi-purpose cement. Dries clear and quick, and has a quick hold. And it does. It's been holding pretty well. It's been holding very well. I've also done a dog, and that's been holding up. And there's one more over here. I haven't put the ears on it yet. But that one, and this one actually stands up, kind of, unless you shake the table and then it flops over. And if you look at it, I mean, that's holding. And that was like the cheapest brand I could find at Walmart in the hardware department. I think it was only $1 or $2. You'll hear me say Walmart all the time. They're not paying me. It just so happens to be where I shop. And since I do this, and I'm making a living off of it, all of this. And that's not even, I don't even have enough YouTube subscribers. So that's kind of another point of what I'm doing with the YouTube videos is, okay, this is what I've been doing. People can make money off of, doing their arts and crafts. And I mean, I'm not pulling in, $100 grand. That would be nice, but I'm making a living, sustainable living off of it. And I just started doing it. Oh no, see, now this fell off. Maybe I should have double checked this one before I started putting this resin on. But what's good about this resin nonetheless, and I have to use a paintbrush now because I have to get into the crevices more. What's nice about the resin though with this is it'll help hold the rock even further more together. Hold them together. Okay, so where can I put this? This one is just going to have to stay in the glass. And I'll have to sand it. And I'm really starting to feel like I'm actually quite impatient right now. So I want to show you what this turtle guy looks like that I made. I put gloss on it. He's already dry. He's cute, isn't he? Again, I did that with the cement, and I did notice once I was done with the resin, now I'm going to have to do it over again, resin it a bit, and this is kind of globbed at the bottom. I had to sand it down a little bit. and I'll just see what I can do about that. But I just put way too much on. So I'm going to check some of these bottoms, see what's going on, see if it's globbing up, and it's not. So it seems to be this is the way to go. Oh, there's a bunch on it. There was a little bit more on there than I wanted. Same with this one. And maybe those too, but like I said, it's harder to see it show up on those rocks than it is on the river rocks. It's easier to see the dark, the buildup at the bottom, than it is on these flat Santorini ones. Plus, they are flat, so they're not pooling. It's not pooling so much at the bottom like the rounded ones are. So, there you have it. There's my first round of doing this. And I still have a ton left. Now, mind you, last time I did this, I used like the half of it. Oh, no, actually I used exactly about this, pretty much exactly that amount. And I used it all. I used it all and it was on 5 rocks. Way too much. Because I am doing a third of that on twice as many rocks now. So, how am I supposed to turn this video off now? This mess. It's everywhere. It's on the bottles. It's on the table. It's on here. I could feel it sticking to my elbow. And the minute I take these things off, I'm going to touch something. I know, like at this end, there's going to be some right there, and it's going to be sticky, and it's going to be gross. And I didn't get it all the way in. So there's the garbage. Oopsie, yeah, my hands still feel a little bit of stickiness. The minute I touch these bottles that got some drip on it, it's going to be sticky. So I'm just saying this to warn you. Have an area that you don't mind getting dirty. I put this glass on top. I thought it was a great solution. I'll keep the glass for when I work with epoxy in the office here. And I'll let it just I'll probably just leave the epoxy and let it dry on the table. And it'll be my glass block table. So that's my story. I don't think I have anything else to say. I always have something to say, but oh, I gotta blow on them. There's the bubbles. But you know what? I don't even see the bubbles. The bubbles when I was pouring on them. The bubbles when I was pouring on them, there was a bunch of them. Now, when I just did this, I mean, this is experimental. I haven't done this way yet. So, I don't even see any of the bubbles with rubbing it on this way. It's pretty good. I blew on them just in case anyways. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something, and hopefully these all turn out great. I'm going to assume that they do because they look great already. They look much better than the last batch I did. That turned out in the end well. So that's that. Have a great day, and I hope you guys subscribe.